Thank you for joining me. This is Darshini, and this one is on a video for how I do readings. Now, I send it out, by the way, a rather long email, a good, I don't know, a good 60%, 80% maybe, I don't know, I don't care really, decide that's not what they want. And it's good that people get drawn to me only really regularly by their guides or as people who are meant to get the reading. I don't do readings for everybody, by the way. Okay, I will, if I find that, well, I kind of view ahead and I know who I'm meant to be reading for, I will decline, okay? I'm not being arrogant, I'm just being honest here, okay? Because the information I've been told is being accurate, so especially in the future, but I'm not going to give certain information that's going to harm people because they are misusing it, okay? So when you book a reading, say half an hour or an hour, whatever, I do 15, but quite frankly, it's so whiz bang and it's over, and I'm kind of really pricing that out, to be honest, to say I don't want to do it. It's not a benefit to you. You may think so at a show, which is fine, but an expo, but that's a totally different ball game there. Okay, so basically what I'm talking about here is readings where first of all, and I put this in the email to remind you, I go backwards. No, I don't go into a previous life or a previous existence or off the planet. I'm sorry, I'm not one of those who do that. The only time I ever go backwards in a past life is through my class called Face Your Fears, which is the most brutal class you could take in all the over 100 classes I've taught. So basically, that's out the window. But what you do is I start off by going backwards. Now, why do I do that? And why is it important to you? And I do explain it, but verbally here it is. When I go backwards, one, I need to know I've connected. Usually I have anyway. But the person, more importantly, needs to know if I've connected and the truth of it. So I go backwards, and there are certain markers, and these are markers in your life where something either traumatic or very significant in your life, and it's usually the early life, that has shaped you, all right? Don't want to get into it in here. I have put a lot of it about controlling, if people are controlling, why they're controlling, why they feel certain fears, and have carried it through to their, most of their life. They've got these certain behaviors, but it's a co-behavior that has been instigated, not what you were born with, but it actually was created at a specific time in your life. So I go back to those areas, and that is when people see how they have gained, either you're being controlling, obsessive, or why you're in fear of money and that you need money, etc., etc. It goes on. There's so many reasons, but those specific times, it's like not exactly a Pandora's box, because it's not horrible and evil, but it's more like a tightly closed bud. And that when I reveal it, when I open it, people say, oh my gosh, that's why. I understand why. That happened. I never knew it. And that's about the time that the trauma happened or whatever. And those things are really gifts of release to you, okay? And I get usually emotionally involved because obviously I'm stepping into that child, and it's mostly from a child. Then what I do is often, that takes anything from 5 to maybe 10 minutes, could be 10 more, but it depends on the time allocation that you've given me. But I can't give all of them if it's only a half an hour, definitely not in a 15-minute. So from then on, I move forward, and at that point, I ask if I've been accurate, and 99.999, they've confirmed I have hit it dead on. But from then on, I will give them the offer of, would you like to ask the questions you wanted, which I usually know what they're about, way ahead. That's how I view it. It's like sending a radar out. That's how I read. But then I also do the other way, which is a good 80% of the time, quite frankly. People just want to listen to what I'm saying and what information I'm giving them and offering them. So not so much specific information, and you know, where something is their destiny, etc. But I usually know what is needed in that reading. So it progresses from then on, and I do ask intermittently, is there a question or is there a clarification? And it goes very fast, and I am talking fast, reasonably fast now, so that's about the pace I do, if not a tiny bit faster at times. But you will be asked to literally in the first few minutes go backwards, and I'll say, okay, 20 years ago, how old were you? What happened that year? And I'm not going to tell you, just to prove to you. Pick somebody else, or I'll hang up immediately and refund the money. That's not what this is about. It's not my test. It's your gift to find this information out. All right? So a lot of people have come back to me and said, oh yeah, that happened, that happened. I don't know why they don't even bother to tell me. But everything came true. That drives me a bit crazy, to be honest. And years later, oh yeah, of course it came true. I mean, thank you. I guess everybody can do this. They don't realize the gift sometimes, and it does frustrate me, to be honest. So anyway, that's all of it in a nutshell, how I do a reading. And from the initial reading, you're not really allowed for about a month, 3 weeks to a month, to rebook. So if you think you can get a half an hour and, oh, I'll call her next week. No, I get booked up. And especially now, I'm going to be restricting reading sessions, okay, from now on, because I have to get these books out, and especially on the suicides and everything. But the signs is one that's so crucial, that's affecting why 90% or 98% of you are calling me, because they're suffering from so many signs. Okay, well anyway, hopefully that helps you. Hopefully I haven't bored you too much, but you must have moved on to another video if I have. Anyway, thanks again. You take care. Keep safe. Blessings.